Hi everybody, so welcome to the latest instalment of At Home with Ross. So today we have Jill Shields with me from Blain, Boland Solicitors. So Jill, I've worked with Jill for a while now. She does a range of different legal services, but before I go off and ramble on, I'll introduce you and let you introduce yourself, Jill. So firstly, thanks very much for joining us today.
No problem, it's good fun.
Good.
No problem at all.
So over to you. Can you just introduce yourself to everybody, please?
I can. Hi, so my name's Jill Shields. I am a solicitor and a director of Blain Boland Solicitors. Me and my co-director Jessica, we've owned Blain Boland now for 5 years. Through the good times and the bad times. Not so great at the moment, but I'm sure things will improve. I specialise in conveyancing. And I also do employment law as well. But the conveyancing is uppermost in my mind at the moment because of what is going on out there and how we're going to recover and bring back the housing market once lockdown is over. I work with Ross on lots of matters. He does the mortgages and I do the legals. So it's imperative to both of us that we're both ready in that starting gate when lockdown finishes, whenever that may be, so that we're back up there being able to give a proper service to what are our mutual clients.
Yeah.
And I would encourage anybody who is watching this and thinking to themselves, well, do you know what? I've been in this house now for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and it's driving me insane looking at the same 4 walls. We're all in here together like sardines in a tin. I need to think about remortgaging so that maybe we can get a bit of more space onto the house, a bit of home improvement going on, in which case Mr. Jones is your man for the remortgage, or we're going to sell and we're going to move on. And once again, Ross can help you with a mortgage for that bigger property.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, Ross, if you want to jump in there, that's absolutely fine with me.
No, it's interesting what you've said there, because we've had a few different businesses on, and one of those was an estate agent, and they were Leanne from Harper Williams, and she was saying how exactly that really, that there's going to be this slight uncertainty around the market, but ultimately, fundamentally, there's going to be a lot of people sat at home in their homes thinking, might need this or I might need that, i.e. extensions, home improvements, or it could be a case of, well, actually, you know what, now might be the time to think about moving. And I suppose that comes to you. We probably need to come to you at the same time as me to get themselves ready. Would that be a fair comment?
Yeah, it would. It would, because
sort of like leasehold properties and things.
Well, exactly. What you need to do, people watching this may remember, or the older ones will, but we used to have these things called home information packs. And before you could sell your house, you had to have a home information pack, which gave you documentation about the property to pass on to any potential purchaser. Well, that all went by the by. So what happens now is, if Ross, you came to say to me and said, I want to sell my house, I'd say, great. Here's all the pack that you need to fill in so that I can forward that to the purchaser's solicitor. Now that I send it out, it can take you 2 weeks to fill it in and send it back, because it's not exactly the most exciting information in the world that you want to be dealing with. And it's finding the time to sit down with your chocolate biscuit and your cup of coffee and go through all those questions.
McVitie's biscuit, remember?
Of course, McVitie's. Other chocolate biscuits do exist, but they're not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So you've got a pack of documents that you will need to fill in as a seller. And what we find is that you fill in those documents and you send them back to us, but it's not always that you send the documents that should go with that pack that we have asked for. So if you've had, new windows put in, you need to have your fencer certificate. If you've had your gas boiler changed, you need your building compliance certificate. So all those things that you probably never think about, but they're lying there in a drawer somewhere. You need to get them all together when you want to come and sell your house. And we call it sale fit.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's really good. It's really good points you're making there, because there's a lot of these things that you just take for granted as a buyer or a seller, and when you get into that process, you can get towards maybe what you think is the end of the process, and you think it's a fence certificate that's holding everything up, and you think but actually it's almost like this. Is it the 4 Ps? Preparation, planning, and everything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Fail to prepare to fail is what we say. So if there was, and there is a way, because we do this in our firm, we call it sale fit, and we say to people, make sure you've got all your documents there to give to us. Don't hold back on anything, because you don't need those documents once you've sold that property. You don't need to ever bother with it again. So give us absolutely everything that you can, and we'll decide what we need and what we don't need.
I suppose, actually, just thinking about that then, so I think the latest stats I read was people generally move house every sort of 7 years. Would there be merit then if there was a long-term relationship that you had with a customer over the course of a period where they moved times?
Yeah.
Actually, if you act for that customer on one occasion where they purchased the property, it might make sense for you to act when they sell.
Exactly. So that's when we talk about loyalty and the fact that, and people going about, oh, well, this is the family solicitor, we've used them for years. That's usually the reason why. It's because, my mum and dad bought that house through them, and now we're selling mum and dad's house. They've probably got all the documents, all the deeds at least, although we really don't need deeds anymore, in their store. But I had a guy rang me yesterday. We acted for him in 2016, purchased his house. He said, you did a good job. We're selling it now. Can we come back to you? I said, of course you can come back to me. Now, because it's only 4 years ago, his file will still be in our storage from when we purchased, because we have to keep files for 6 years, you see. So I'll be able to go and get his file out of archive and all his documents that I need when I purchase should be in there, so that I can go, hello, Mr. Purchasing Solicitor, there you go, and give it to him in one fell swoop.
Okay, so that's really good. Really gives us a really good insight on things there. But if we focus back to the pandemic that we're currently in at the moment, how has that impacted your business and your clients?
Well, we have been able to carry on working on matters where people are selling buy-to-let properties or buying buy-to-lets, or where, say, for example, it's executors selling on behalf of someone who's died. That property's been empty. So it means that you're not transferring households on completion day. So it means that the property's empty and they can then move into that property. The problem occurs when if you wanted to move and you're having to swap. And it's also about getting removal men as well. Yeah. So if you've got a property that's been empty and you can shift yourself into that property, then you can complete. The problem comes when you are transferring households. But, Ross, you and I both know somebody who has a business where they can go in and clean.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. If you could do maybe like a staggered approach where one occupant moves, there's a deep takes place or something like that, and then someone comes in. As long as it could be done safely, I'm sure there'll be ways and innovation that could be applied to that.